Hey there, Rick Sage, recording at the Rimrock Studios in Bishop, California. Welcome to Season 2 of the Outdoor Biz Podcast, where I speak with retailers, brand managers, athletes, executives, and others in the outdoor biz and share their stories, tips, advice, productivity tricks, and ideas you can use to take your career or business to the next level. If you need flexible small business financing, Kabbage has the answer. Kabbage helps small business owners access capital right away without any headaches. Apply online or from your phone. You'll get an automatic decision and you can use any amount you need when you need it. Kabbage has supported over 130,000 small businesses with $4 billion in funding. Visit Kabbage.com/outdoorbiz. When you qualify, you'll get a $50 Visa card that you can use anywhere. That's Kabbage with a K. KABBAGE.com/outdoorbiz. I'm excited to be speaking with Jordan Mead of JM Sales and Service today. Jordan operates a sales agency in Southern California focused mainly on action sports industry, representing brands like Volcom, Electric, Stance, Huff, and others. Jordan and I talk about how he grew up around retail at Adventure 16, his experience at Montana State, and how he got his start in the repping world. Hey guys, we're here in Encinitas, California this morning with Jordan Mead at his cool office space here on 2nd Street. Thanks for hosting us, Jordan.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, good to see you. How's it going?
Everything's going good.
Good. So did you just get back? You guys were done with shows for a while. OR was your last show?
Yep, OR was our last show, and then we're just getting ready to start hitting the road with Holiday right now.
Yeah,
just
cool.
got back from a couple trips and roundtables and...
Yeah, I saw some snowboarding photos, right? You were heli boarding or something?
Yeah, catboarding at my magical place called Baldface Lodge outside of Nelson, British Columbia.
Nice. How long were you there?
I was there for 4 days. Went with a couple of the brands I work with, Volcom, Electric, and then our good friends at Capita C3, which is Capita Union and Cole Headwear.
Very cool.
Great time, awesome crew, and the snowboarding was next level, as it always is up there.
It looked pretty fun.
Yeah,
cool. So, for those of you that don't know, Jordan's dad is John Mead, right? From A16.
That is correct.
Yeah, so we have an A16 connection. So, was that your first exposure to the outdoors? Was through your dad?
Yeah, I mean, as young as I can remember, and just going back and looking at photos from when I was a little kid, 1.5, 2 years old, we were out camping, and I mean, I was pretty much born and raised in A16 and hanging out there with my Uncle Mick.
Yeah.
From as long as I can remember. Yeah. So that was my first exposure.
I left there in 87, so you were probably not born yet.
No, I was born in 82, so I'd have been, I'd have been 5 years old.
Yeah. I'm sure I saw you running around there.
I was probably working in their warehouse at that point.
Right, exactly. Right. And did you ever work at A16?
I did. That was
your first job?
Yeah, that was my first official job. Uh-huh. I worked in the shipping and receiving department for Sonia when she was managing it down there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I was 13 or 14 maybe. My mom had to drive me there every morning and pick me up every afternoon. And
how long did you work there?
I worked there every summer for probably 3 years in the shipping and receiving department. Yeah.
Wow. Right on.
And it was an awesome experience.
And then let's see. So then did you go right to Montana State after you got out of school here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So pretty much grew up here, obviously surfing and skating and snowboarding and kind of going against the typical outdoor stuff that my dad and mom exposed me to.
Right. Did you do any backpacking or climbing?
I did. I was a Boy Scout, and I was an Eagle Scout all the way, or I was a Boy Scout all the way through until Eagle Scout. I think I left when I was 18, so pretty much as old as you can get in being a Boy Scouts. But we did Philmont, and we did a ton of really cool trips through that program. So I was still participating in all that outdoor stuff. Yeah. But because it was so embedded in me, obviously my rebellious side wanted to go to the action sports side
Makes
of things.
Sense. Yeah.
So growing up surfing and skating and all that stuff, I got into snowboarding kind of late in high school.
Okay.
And so at that point, I have a pretty addictive personality, and I became super obsessed with snowboarding.
You spent some time in Mammoth, right?
I did, yeah. So we would go up there. I mean, skiing and all that all growing up.
Right.
And then snowboarding kind of came into my life in high school. And really, it only came in because I'd go to Big Bear, and at that time, you weren't allowed to ski in the parks and the half pipe and stuff like that.
That's right.
If I wanted to do that, I had to switch to snowboarding.
Yeah. There was a lot of mountains back then. I think, was it Alpine Meadows? You couldn't snowboard.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. There still is.
Yeah. Is there?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And did you do any backcountry split boarding up in the Sierra? Or?
No, not at that point. I didn't get really my first backcountry experience until I moved to Montana.
Got you.
And pretty much moved there because I opened up a map and wanted to find the mountain that was closest to the college.
Okay.
And so being in Bozeman, Bridger Bowl was only 12 miles away from the town. So I pretty much didn't know anyone there, packed up and moved, and ended up spending 4 full years there.
Wow. And studied marketing, right?
Yep. Business marketing. And that was like I said, my first exposure to the backcountry, and took some Avi classes and did all that when I was up there.
Cool. Did you do any other outdoor activities up there? Fly fishing or any of that kind of stuff?
It's funny because I went up there, fly fishing was a big reason, and I ended up fishing for a couple years, and then just got so entrenched in snowboarding that any free moment I had, we were driving to other mountains in Utah and Wyoming and all that stuff. So I didn't fish as much as I wanted to, but we'd go overnight car camping and hiking and all that stuff, but nothing too
Do you
crazy.
still fish?
I don't.
Yeah, no, gave it up. Huh?
I haven't in a long time. I'd love to get back into it, but there's only so much time in a day.
And how did you get into repping?
So got into repping, working in retail stores kind of through high school, kind of when I transitioned out of working at A16. I worked on the floor at a snowboard and surf shop called Riders House Board Shop. That was in La Mesa, right down the street from my parents' house. Mm-hmm. When I was working there, I became friends with a bunch of reps that were in the area. And this was late 90s, early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And ended up becoming friends with one who's Lenny Jones, who's still one of my mentors now.
Oh, cool.
And he was doing Volcom at the time. Became friends with him and was kind of enamored by what his whole program was with repping, and went off to college and came back, and he needed an assistant at the time. So
nice timing.
I kind of fell into it. I thought I was no joke going to have to get a suit and tie job in the marketing world and move to New York or some big city to work in advertising.
Is that what you wanted to do? Is that what you
Not what I wanted to do, but that's what that's what I thought the next evolution of graduating college was getting a suit and tie job. And so got in line with him and ended up working for him for 6 years. And then when he left, I took over Volcom for this territory and then started building my agency.
Yeah. So now you do how many? You got a bunch of lines now.
Yeah. So now we've got 7 lines, I believe. So Volcom, Electric, Huff, Mizu, Stance, local hat brand called Hemlock.
Okay.
And then we do some consulting stuff with a brand called Journeyman, which is a natural body wash and deodorant company out of San Diego.
Cool.
And then we help out with a buddy of mine, Christensen Surfboards, doing some kind of marketing and a little bit of sales stuff for them as well.
And so you do a little bit of crossover in the outdoor with Stance. Yep. Anything else?
Yep. Electric kind of has some products in that world as well, but I would say Stance is pretty much the main one. We cross over into retail for the outdoor
pretty hot
world
right now, or they have been for a couple years.
Yeah. Awesome. We just launched the adventure stuff about a year ago, and so that was really our foot in the door for the outdoor world.
And did you always have this space, or when Lenny handed it off, what did you do?
So he signed the lease here in 2003, and when he left, I just continued it on, and every time the lease comes up, I try and sign a max time that I can. So
how much will you give me? Can I buy the building?
100%. Trust me, that conversation's been had a couple times, but they're not willing to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's a great spot. Yeah. And you have, what'd you say, 3-4 people working out of here?
Yeah.
Plus some co-working
3
space
total.
Kind of
so myself and then Connor, who works for me, who's on the road on a daily basis. And then we have Stacy, who runs all of our back end.
Yeah. Cool.
She's a lifesaver.
So you grew up in the outdoor space at A16. You do a little bit of work there, mostly in the action sports. What are the differences between those two different retail channels, do you think? The big differences, maybe a couple keys.
Working with the outdoor world is pretty interesting how self-sufficient a lot of them are. They've been doing this for so much longer, I feel like, than a lot of the surf and skate shops. So everything that they do is pretty much, I go to them and I'll make phone calls and they'll be like, is everything okay? Because they're not used to reps coming in all the time or anything like that. Whereas in the surf world, that's kind of our daily basis. I got shops that I'm in once a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so we're doing a lot more, I feel, marketing stuff in the surf world and the skate world than we are in the outdoor world.
You probably have a lot more control over what goes on with your brand being in the stores that often.
100%. I mean, there's a lot of accounts that we kind of manage their business top to bottom now in the surf world. And in the outdoor world, it's not like that.
Interesting.
But it's good to see the perspective of both sides, because I can kind of take some stuff I learned in the surf and skate world and bring it into the outdoor world and vice versa.
Do you think some of those outdoor stores could use a dose of more attention, but with a rep being in there once a week? Would that help them? Seems to me, my experience with it is that'd be great. I mean, we were always itching to have somebody in there, you know, at Eagle Creek, making sure the merchandising looked good, making sure the racks were full. Yeah.
I mean, I think it never hurts to be on the floor, especially from a rep level, being in the stores. I mean, the outdoor world does such a good job of merchandising, in my opinion, anyway. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I go into these stores and I'm used to folding t-shirts or rearranging socks and all that stuff. And I go in there and I don't even want to touch it because it looks better than what I could have done. So it goes both ways.
And you do California, Arizona, Nevada, Hawaii?
Correct. Not Hawaii.
Not Hawaii.
Wish we did Hawaii.
Yeah, right.
Maybe a conversation I need to have with some of my brands.
Yeah. Who's the guy? We'll take that over. And Anything else unique between those two channels that you can think of? Buying cycles, volumes.
Yeah, in the outdoor world, it seems it's shrinking back from what I see. Again, I'm kind of fresh to that, but I feel like it's gone to more of a 3-season model, whereas the action sports world is still on that traditional 4-season model.
Got you.
I think at one point, some of the action sports brands they were combining kind of spring and summer into the same season.
Yep.
And then obviously separating fall and holiday. I would say that's one of the main ones is just there isn't as many product cycles in the outdoor world that I've noticed yet.
Yeah.
But again, that's just coming from me only being in it a couple of years.
Yeah. And you have basically an accessory brand too,
exactly.
Right?
So we're kind of a lot of them the at-once model with the accessory brand anyway. We pre-book some of the new stuff and then we just chase what's working.
Are you trying to get some other brands in outdoor? Would you like to do more?
I would love to. Just a matter of...
There you go, folks. Got a rep available here in Southern California.
Just a matter of time and resources. That's a fun part of this job is I take calls a lot from other brands and I want to make sure it makes sense for everyone. And if we don't have the manpower in here, then...
That exactly doesn't work. Yeah.
Nope.
Are any of the outdoor retailers considering some of the action sports products in their stores? Are they branching out? It seems like some of that lifestyle stuff could cross over very easily.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of it. I would say more so the action sports shops are bringing in outdoor brands now than what I see vice versa.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, I do see a little bit of the lifestyle stuff crossing over into the outdoor world right now from action sports, but obviously you've got the Patagonias, the Arc'teryx, those types of brands that are really big in the outerwear world, crossing over and making a push in the surf world right now.
I guess it makes sense. A lot of those folks in the outerwear world anywhere they got to make stuff for snowboarders and skiers.
Yep.
Right. It's the kind of different stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah,
and you see it, you walk around Encinitas and the Patagonia black puffy jacket is a staple these days.
Exactly. It's in California, I think.
Yeah, probably.
They're all over Bishop as well. Do you do any work with any nonprofits?
Currently, no, but we are actually looking. That's one of the things that I wanted to roll out for 2018 is starting to work with more of those types of places. I've been actually looking at starting something out of the JM Sales and Service Agency and getting kids either surfing, skating, or snowboarding from lower income areas or anywhere that expose them to this world. That's what we need to go forward is new participants. And if we can get in with something like that would be awesome. And I've been doing my research on that. So hopefully we can roll something out here in the next year or so.
Awesome. And do you guys support any nonprofits?
We do. We donate tons of product to all sorts of stuff all the time. Mostly it's youth driven stuff.
Okay, good.
And hopefully it's based out of San Diego is what we really try and look for.
Yeah, I like it. Makes sense. What other outdoor activities do you participate in? Obviously, you snowboard still. Do you still surf? You surf every morning?
Not every morning. I've got a massive shoulder injury about 2 years ago, and it crippled me.
Yeah.
But I'm slowly getting back out there.
Good.
I'm kind of a wuss, and I need the water to be at a certain temperature before I start getting back in there. But I've been trying to snowboard as much as I possibly can. Like I said, just got back from Baldface, which... That was an amazing trip. Got my fill there. Recently got into mountain biking.
Oh, good.
Which I've been kicking myself for not getting into it sooner.
Great sport.
Tons of friends telling me to do it years and years ago, and I just never got into it. I used to do it
years ago and then kind of got away from it, but that's a good one to get back into.
For where we live here in Encinitas, there's a couple spots that are a quick drive, especially in La Costa. Just rip out there in the afternoons, go for a quick hour rip, and I could be back in my house in no time.
Easy.
So
that's
trying to do that, and then skate a little bit. Obviously, I'm getting older, so that hurts a little more than it used to. And then having 2 kids, I got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, so we're going hiking and doing stuff locally all the time.
Do you guys go camping, backpacking kind of thing?
A little bit. My dad mostly takes the kids camping.
Oh yeah, he's told stories about that. Yeah.
So he's the one who spearheads all that.
Great.
He takes Bridger about once a month to go out camping.
Nice. Yeah.
And I've tried to go a couple times, but they won't let me in their club yet.
You got to earn your way in that one.
100%. It sounds like.
Have you been to the cabin in Idaho?
Oh yeah,
you have. Yeah.
Yep. I grew up going there, and that's something that I really want to start doing more and more. We've got awesome cabin on the Forest Service land in the Sawtooth Mountains in Idaho. So try to get up there more.
They invited me up after this recent show, and I just couldn't pull it off. So hopefully I'll get up there in the summer.
Yeah, those are the fun ones after the shows. Jeff Sheets goes up there. A couple other reps. Yeah, a couple other reps from the industry, and I could watch the Sheet show for days on end.
Exactly, that'd be fun. And how about, do you have any suggestions or advice for someone wanting to get in the biz, either biz, outdoor, action sports, starter rep group? What do you think for some young folks?
Oh, I get asked that question all the time from kids looking to do it. And my biggest thing is just be a participant. get out there and do it. The more you know about it and the more you involve yourself in it and the more people you meet doing those types of activities, the more likelihood you are to get a foot in the door.
Yeah.
I mean, I look back to how I got into it, and that's exactly how I got into it. I was just around all the time and surfing, skating, snowboarding, and doing everything I would have been doing anyway. Turned into a job for me.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and ask a ton of questions. That's one thing looking back that I don't think I did enough was ask questions. And
we never do when we're young. We think we know it all.
Yep. And so surround yourself with it and ask tons of questions about it.
That's great. I love it. That's awesome. And there's still lots of opportunity. You know, there's a lot of guys that are, you know, older and retiring and handing businesses off, like you say. So that's, you know, plenty of things to go. Yeah,
and that's kind of what I look at with building our agency is I've spent the last 5 years really investing into it time-wise and money-wise and building it to a certain point where the changing of the guard will happen soon.
Yeah.
Guys getting out of it or not wanting to do it anymore, and we wanted to be set up to kind of absorb some of that stuff and take our brands and what we do to the next level.
There you go.
And that was the other reason why we put sales and service in the name of the agency is because we can go out and provide that extra level of service, whether it's marketing or merchandising.
Do you do any service stuff related to Amazon with any of your brands?
No, we don't. We work with Zappos on a couple of our brands, which obviously is under Amazon, but not Amazon directly.
Okay, And what do you do? Just manage the inventory and that kind of thing?
Yep.
Through that? Yeah.
Yep. Manage our inventory. I mean, I love going out and working with those guys because they're on such a different level. Yeah. Obviously, being under the Amazon thing, it's a wild world, and anything I can learn from that world was greatly appreciated. So I'm out there probably once every quarter, at least meeting with those guys, and then phone calls and emails on the daily.
Smart, so ahead of it, and the technology they use and the tools they have is just amazing.
Oh, it's insane, and especially all that stuff, the keyword searches and everything to drive to specific products and all that is very interesting to me. So
that's cool. Good. Do you have any daily routines you use to keep your sanity?
I did until I had 2 kids, and then all that went out the window.
That's your daily routine.
That's my daily routine. Trying to get back more into routine-based thing. That was my new thing for 2018 was Operation Intent.
Okay.
And everything we do is doing it with intent. So I kind of set up a new Monday routine, and it really broke down pretty much by the hour a daily regimen for myself.
Yeah.
It's only been 3 months since it's been initiated, but I'm trying to stick to it. It's
only on Mondays,
hard.
or do you carry it through the week?
No, I just do it on Mondays to kind of set the tone for the rest of the week. But a lot of it that goes into it is planning for the rest of the days in the week.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of what I'm looking to do in 2018 is get on more of a schedule.
I like it. And
currently, though, my schedule, I get coffee every morning and go check the surf. That's the 2 things that I do every morning, regardless.
Make sure the world is right.
Exactly.
Do you have any tools that you use for the daily intent on Monday? Any calendars or apps or anything?
Yeah, with our agency, we live in Google Docs.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I've really spent a lot of time fine tuning.
Yeah.
And between Stacy, Connor, and myself, we can see pretty much everything that goes on on a day-to-day basis in there, accounts that we've seen, any notes that we need to make on those, who's gotten orders in the system. Yeah. And we track our progress for a season within that as well. Nice. So I think that's probably the one that I use.
You guys don't have like an app like Slack or anything to communicate?
No, I tried to use a couple of those, and to be 100% honest, I'm trying to get away from using my phone as much as I am. Yeah. And so for Google Docs, there is an app for it, but it's not as good as just sitting on the computer and doing it.
And so you guys are so close, you can just go talk to one another.
100%. They're in the other room, so I can just get up and walk over there. Yeah, but so I'm trying to get away from any app-based stuff because I don't want to pull my phone out all the time.
Yeah, I'm with it. We're just so buried in the screens all the time. How about some favorite books?
Favorite books. So I got super into one. I've read it a couple times called 1 Second After. It's actually a fiction book about kind of a post-apocalyptic world.
Wow.
An EMP and electromagnetic pulse got dropped over the U.S. and it kind of rendered all electronics useless.
Oh my God. That would wreak havoc with the world,
so
right?
that's the whole premise of the book is what happens. And it's a pretty interesting book, and a lot of it I think is stuff that could happen. Yeah. So that's one of those books that I've given to a couple people.
1 Second After.
1 Second After.
I'll link to that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. Like I said, I've read it a couple times now, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, cool. I'll check that out. Yeah. Any others?
As far as business books, I kind of dabble here and there. I obviously read Yvon Chouinard's "Let My People Go Surfing," and that's an awesome book. Halfway through it for a second time now.
Oh, good.
I just love that one, and Patagonia is a big inspiration of mine as far as companies, what they've been able to do, and they set their sights on a goal and kind of unapologetically are charging towards it.
They're doing it.
And
they're walking
doing a good job.
Yep. Do you have a favorite outdoor gear purchase under $100? Or, surf-related purchase?
Yeah.
Snowboard,
So currently it's the Stance Adventure socks.
Okay.
Well under $100, so you can get a couple pairs for $100.
All right. I'll have to check those out.
I've been wearing those as kind of my daily drivers, not just for being outdoors, but every day.
Okay.
Just the cush and the climate control they got going on there and the moisture wicking are awesome. And then taking my Brands hat off, I would say I'm kind of slightly obsessed with the Eagle Creek packet systems.
Oh, yeah. Those things. I was there when we launched those things, and they really almost change your life.
Jeff Cermak just sent me a little box, and no joke, every part of my life for travel and everything is broken down into what'll fit in those packet things.
Yep. Same. I rolled out a concept at Low Pro when I was there for photography stuff, because some of those packet systems the padded ones are great, but they're not quite big enough for camera electronics. So I said, it worked for Eagle Creek. We can make a killing,
Yeah, no. So that's been my latest obsession. I've got my 2-day pack trip down to pretty much I can take it in a like a reusable grocery bag with some of those packet kits.
There you go.
So it's pretty amazing to go on a trip to Vegas or somewhere, Arizona for 2 days and have everything I need in one carry-on bag. Right.
That's awesome. Yep. No, they're great. And the lightweight ones, the new Spectre ones, I think are even cool.
Yep.
That's good stuff. Anything else you'd like to say to our listeners or ask of our listeners?
No, I think kind of get out there and participate in all the stuff we do. We're involved in such an epic world between outdoor and action sports, and get out there and do it. I think there's been a ton of negativity over the past few years with the recession and retail and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, we still are doing what we love.
Yeah.
And even if I wasn't working in this industry, I would still be doing the same stuff I'm doing now.
It's a great business.
So just go out there and do it with a smile and be stoked for what we're able to involve ourselves in.
Yeah, I like it. And how can people get a hold of you if they want to follow up on email, Instagram, LinkedIn?
My email, if you want to email me, is Jordan Mead, no spaces, at gmail.com. Okay. And then Instagram, we've got our agency one, which is JM Sales and Service.
Okay.
And then my personal one, which is Jordan D. Mead.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll link to all that in the show notes. Great. Yeah. Well, awesome. So great talking to you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming down.
Do it again. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Jordan Mead. You can catch up with him by email at jordandmead@gmail.com and on Instagram at jmsales and Jordan D. Mead. You find links to everything we discussed in the show notes at theoutdoorbizpodcast.com/episode 86. Be sure to hit your favorite podcast app and subscribe today, and thanks for listening. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. I've used Audible for many years now. I'm on the road a lot, and Audible allows me to enjoy the great books I discover or are recommended by friends. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/theoutdoorbizpodcast. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Start your 30-day free trial with Audible today. If you want more of the Outdoor Biz Podcast, you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure and go to theoutdoorbizpodcast.com where you'll find all the episodes, show notes, and much, much more. Thanks for listening, and until next time, be sure and make time to get outside.